How powerful are these banned commander cards in 2026? That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about with I think my first commander. I think this was was this my first commander? No, this was not my first commander. I wanted this to be my first commander. Arreo Soratami Ascendance, a 2-mana 1/1 flyer. Whenever the fourth spell of a turn is played, flip our Arreo. What are we flipping into? Arreo's Essence, counter the first spell played by each opponent each turn. Now, look, you got to put this in a mono blue deck. A mono blue deck that has counter spells, it's a smidge difficult to get the fourth spell of a turn played, but not well, by a smidge, I mean, you can load the deck with artifacts, and I believe that's probably the only thing you want to do. You don't need counter spells in your deck if you have Arreo. Just spew every bauble imaginable, basically make it an Urza's deck, and Arreo will enter the battlefield. And by the way, Arreo, I believe, will count as one of the spells played for the turn. You could even maybe play Arreo as the third spell. Does it? I can't remember if it remembers all the spells behind it. But if if you hate taxes, well, you're gonna hate Arreo's Essence. But at the same time, it's still just a permanent. Use permanent interaction, use removal. You're going to have to throw something away first. Yeah, I get it. And then after you've thrown that one thing away, then you go after Arreo's Essence. Remember, it's only the first spell played by each opponent each turn. What if you all gang up at it at once? Why don't you just wait for 3 cards played? What is the Arreo deck even going to do to win the game? I wonder if people even think about that. Like, what is the Arreo plan? Okay, you spewed a bunch of stuff on the battlefield. You've now locked down, like, the very first spell of all of your opponents. Now what? What do you say? Steve Cooper says, keep this thing banned and ban Jin-Gitaxias and also ban Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant. Jin-Gitaxias is basically, like, the chunkier Arreo, right? Jin-Gitaxias Progress Tyrant. Yeah, that's right. Just cast 2 spells. It's not like it says you can't play the game. It just says the first spell can't play the game. Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell counter that spell, this ability triggers only once each turn. This is significantly hard. This is significantly stronger. Gear Cavern of Souls ready. There's a lot of cards that aren't even counterable anymore. You can't even put those cards in front because this card will still attempt to counter an uncounterable card. It will fail, and then it will clear the path for your future cards. It says Stare Contest, I guess. You know what? I mean, for as long as Arreo's on the battlefield, it also makes, if someone were to be playing with, not Rhystic Study, the other one, Mystic Remora, it'd be useless. No one's going to play any cards into it. Not anytime quick, anyhow. Eventually, the Mystic Remora leaves the battlefield. I imagine the plan is make your land drops, people. Just keep playing lands, which I guess sucks for anyone that needs to ramp into their lands. Okay. Those people are screwed. But if you can just make your land drops, play patiently, and then throw out a bunch of spells at the same time, hopefully that's enough to beat this card. Has anyone even seen an Arreo deck? I'm just curious, has that even existed? Or was this like banned upon the concept of Commander? I should ask, has an Arreo deck ever existed? Come on, Google Gemini, what do you got for me here? Yes, Arreo decks have definitely existed in multiple formats. The Kulgor of these decks. Cast 4 spells cheap. Modern Cheerios and Prison decks? No, that's wrong. Vintage and no, they have not played it. Wow, Google Gemini doesn't know anything about Arreo. Arreo is so oppressive in multiplayer Commander when accompanied by group hug or tax cards that the rules committee officially banned her as a commander years ago. Well, what if we brought her back as, like, not a commander? I don't know. I don't know what you do with this card. Let's say you flip it, then what's the blue player's job? Like, I don't know. I guess you could play Urza or something. You have a bunch of artifacts and you just win the game. AI doesn't know crap, and especially not about Magic. I know. Google Gemini doesn't even know the ban list. It thinks a bunch of cards that are banned in, like, Legacy or banned in Modern are also banned in Standard. So, like, do not take Google Gemini's advice for Magic the Gathering, like, at all. Doesn't know squat. At least not any of the free versions. What if we let Satan back in heaven? I have a feeling Steve Cooper has played against Areo before. And is not a fan. Oh, we're going through these cards one at a time, Gillum. One at a time. Unless you want a super chat, you can skip the line with the super chat. Jess says, ambulance was at my house last night. I accidentally took the meds twice. Oh my god. Thank God you're fine. Thank you very much, Jess. Thanks for giving us the update. Phil Goad, I got hit with this after an Armageddon in a Commander game once with them playing it in the 99. How did that happen? So what, they floated mana, played Armageddon, then played Areo? Yeah, that would I mean, you know, there's a lot of ways of locking up the game. Like, you could go, for example, Armageddon, float mana, and play, what's it called? Like some sort of tax, not exactly a taxing card, Trinisphere. Could play something like Trinisphere, and that would make the 1-drops and 2-drops insufferable to play. You're not even allowed to play them, even if you wanted to play them. Oh, the Hullbreaker Horror counters this. I'm not suggesting. Okay, Hullbreaker Horror can counter this. Areo was played with Grand Arbiter Augustine. Really? So, okay, so Areo was not necessarily the commander. Areo was just a card in other decks, in other taxing/staxy decks. That also is. I should look at some lists with Areo, you know, for science, for curiosity, because you still need to play 4 spells in a turn, which implies you. I'm assuming it's just mostly artifacts. Like, you can't have. It's not like you can play like Rhystic Study, Mystic Remora, was it something Laboratory, Arcane Laboratory, all in one turn, right? Like, that's not gonna happen. Anything played with Grand Arbiter is automatically evil. I don't know what the hate is with the Grand Arbiter, so I have a friend who plays Grand Arbiter. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't know, maybe because I play those sort of decks too. But I have one of our friends in the same player group absolutely hates that deck. Just hates it. Hates it up the wall. Edgar Markov is banned in 1v1s. Kono says Grand Arbiter is probably the problem. All right, how about this? Can we ban Grand Arbiter, unban Areo? Are we in favor of that? I just don't even know if this card has had any history or any significant history. And these days we have better cards. Like, we have so many cards that are just uncounterable. They have split second, for crying out loud. What is Areo's Essence going to do versus Boseiju? All right. And who the hell is playing a green deck without Boseiju? We've got you could even play Otawara. You could stifle. We have more stifles than ever before. So you can stifle the trigger when it's supposed to flip. It's a freaking 1/1, for crying out loud. You know what? So I think I didn't think about this until now. There was an era, a time, when people played with virtually no interaction in Commander. Like, it was the good old days of, you know, I'm just going to do my thing and completely ignore my opponent, and everyone else is going to do their thing, and whoever wins, wins. And we've now developed to a point where people are playing more interaction. I think, so I don't want to be too crazy here, but I think the people who are calling for the banning of Draneth Magistrate, that's the card, right? Draneth Magistrate. Yeah, Draneth Magistrate. So the people who are calling out for the banning of Draneth Magistrate are the same people that wanted Areo banned. It's just a fleshy creature. You can kill this with Lightning Bolt. You can kill this with Swords to Plowshares. Same thing you can do with Draneth Magistrate. Draneth Magistrate, yes, for some people, this thing drives them up the wall. Like, you can't play your commander anymore. But you gotta play interaction. I think if you're playing interaction, this card doesn't matter. It is just... Like, what if you draw Areo on... You need to draw it early, before you've actually spewed your hand. If you draw it late, it doesn't do anything. Or it's really hard to get online. Oh, sorry. There is the clause, whenever the 4th spell of a turn is played, flip Areo. That might complicate things, because it does count everybody's spell at the table. This dies to a mouse pissing on cotton. There we go. We've got that. There, someone's speaking my tune here. Biorhythm is crazy, stupid, powerful. Should have stayed banned. Really? You're crazy. You're crazy. John says a no ban list CDH game with this as commander would be very interesting. Well, I mean, if this was a commander, it's mono blue. I don't know what your and mono blue is sort of weak. So I mean, I play mono blue. I like it, but you miss out on all the powerful cards. There's a reason why all the best CEDH decks are like 3, 4, 5 colors. They partner with commanders just for the sake of getting another color in their pie for their deck. Because if you have access to red and black, you have access to Wheel of Fortune and better tutors. You get a lot of stuff out of it. What are you going to get out of blue? What is it going to do? I think it's just going to sit there like a bump on the log. And I think there's a lot of interaction that is relevant to this card. If you have interaction, no card matters. So that's a moot point. No, there's some cards that are so devastating. Like, for example, how do you interact with balance? So if someone plays balance and there's no counterspell, in theory there's a counterspell. But if there's no counterspell, then that's just like a board state you can't get back. Whereas Arreo, it's just a permanent on the battlefield. So you can there's still a means of interacting with it either before it flips or after it's flipped. I think there's quite a few ways to do it. I'm going to consider my options and opt out of Arreo. You said a counterspell. Well, if someone balances on the turn 1, then it has to be a free counterspell, you know? Oh, sorry, balance on turn 1 wouldn't matter, right? Because nobody has anything in play. Okay, that's stupid. Only balance later on in the game actually matters. Do you what? You actually convinced me. Maybe we can unban balance, but I think I don't know if we've already gone through that card. People hate it enough. NBL means no ban list. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Even if you have interaction, Iona still matters. Yes. Because if it locks out one, well, look, I'm actually a mono color player when I play Commander. I like playing mono blue. I like my mono colors. I don't care if you play Iona. Go play Iona. If that should see, as a competitive player, I think I should be punished. I should be punished for playing a mono color, which is weird because that's actually these days that's actually the more fair thing to do. They should be trying to buff up some people playing monocolor decks and only playing blue. Balance on turn 1 kills ley lines and nothing else. Does it? No, actually, does it hit their cards in hand? Lands. Players discard cards. Okay, actually, balance on turn 1 does matter because it hits the cards in hand, so it does matter. Isochron Scepter would fix it, I think. What, Arreo? The pesky ley lines. Okay, doesn't seem like there's any love for Arreo, so I suppose it's still powerful in 2026. But I would say this is, I would say the evolution of Commander makes this less powerful than it used to be, and I would also argue that there is more removal today to answer both sides of this Arreo than there used to be. I say bring back Anti for Commander. Let's see how toxic we can get this. Bring back Anti for Commander. I think Anti was banned before Commander even existed. Actually, I can't guarantee that. I don't remember when when Commander started to come into existence. Any color has a common level answer to Arreo. Paradigm also fixes Arreo. What's Paradigm? You mean Paradigm Shift? Remove all cards in your library from the game, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Or this one, Paradigm Shifter. Creature enters, conjure a card. No, I don't know. I don't have no idea what you're talking about. Quill Quick card, also an Arreo fan. Make the anti-everyone's commander. Oh God, that's terrible.
No, God, please, no.
Everyone has to lose their commander and buy another copy of it. It's all play around it up until they play Azorius and use lock pieces like Rule of Law. Okay, so how about we... So what you're saying is Arreo as a commander is not powerful, but Arreo in the 99 is actually more powerful. Okay, I could sort of buy that. Okay, that's Arreo. Spent a lot of time on that one. Next. We are looking at... I don't think this is a card that matters. Falling Star. We'll talk all about Falling Star after we talk about our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com, where you can get all your fancy Magic the Gathering cards, especially Secret Layers, Singles, and more. Deal of the week, 15% off all Gamegenic accessories, but don't worry, you can also pre-order Marvel Superheroes, but also just any generic Magic the Gathering cards. I gotta buff up my Commander and Modern decks, and I look no further than FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu just like I do to get 5% off all your purchases, and of course, it also supports the channel. Thank you very much, everyone who supports. I love the support. Oh, so heartfelt support when you buy at FusionGamingOnline.com, especially with my coupon code. What does this thing do? Okay, I'm not even reading the ancient scripture. Flip Falling Star onto a playing area from a height of at least 1 foot. Falling Star deals 3 damage to each creature it lands on. Tap all creatures dealt damage by Falling Star. If Falling Star doesn't turn completely over at least once during the flip, it has no effect. I think this card is very interesting in that in Commander, like, board states can get really, really, really cluttered. I guess some tokens could be represented by a huge chunk of dice, which could play around Falling Star. But because board states can get really cluttered, there's a increased chance Falling Star can hit several things on the battlefield. In theory, at best, it's only hitting 1 card for 3 damage, which makes it 3 mana for 3 damage, which is just terrible. Falling Star is banned because it provides an unfair disadvantage to disabled players. Yeah, I would like to remind people that it is within the rules of Magic the Gathering that you may have if you have a disability of any kind, you may have an assistant perform actions for you. They just cannot make game decisions. They can hold your hand, they can shuffle your deck, they can draw cards for you. They can play out your hand. So you could have well, I guess it's a bit weird. Or is it? I'm trying to think. If you have no assistant with you and you're playing Commander and you require one of your friends to perform the Falling Star thing, like to drop the Falling Star, that they might not be aligned with you. Like, they may not want to destroy the thing that you want to destroy. You know what I mean? Your assistant is making a game decision by throwing the card. No, you tell them, hey, push it further, a little bit further. It's like a construction worker. Okay, a little forward, a little back. Okay, tilt your hand 40 degrees, and then they drop it. Dexterity card, same as the Chaos Orb. Just like Chaos Orb, we need to be mindful of the disabled players. Oh, so you you were implying I don't know if the helper is really making game decisions in this case. Your assistant is basically a claw machine. Exactly. I don't like the idea of physical objects being a mechanic a deck is designed around. You know what? I didn't like stickers either, but here we are, okay? This is weird voodoo stuff actually exists in this game. Micum says Falling Star feels like it should be an uncard. Now, there could be an errata to these cards, like Chaos Orb, I believe, in 93, 94, or at least in Cube. Chaos Orb is just like destroy target permanent, and Falling Star could just be errated in the same way. It is just assumed it is only going to fall on one object, the object that you intended to target, and that it will deal only 3 damage to that target, because it is assumed that your opponent would not be so stupid to put all their permanents like around each other at the same time. After all, you could practice this, and after a few thousand attempts, you can actually control how this falls to a point. No, actually, it was. Sam Black demonstrated an angle that you could drop a Chaos Orb, and it just falls straight down, and multiple people replicated this. I don't remember the technique, but it was basically the card was just, you didn't drop it flat. It was at an angle of some sort, and it literally just fluttered straight down. I was super impressed. So there is a skill to making your card fall just perfectly down. Dexterity cards probably inspired the unsets. Can they errata an acorn? They actually probably could, if they really wanted to. Falling Star is now acorn. In my eyes, Falling Star is like a goblin game and quite unserious. But Acorn, is Acorn allowed in Commander? I can't remember. Or no, Acorn is on the same lines as Silver Border in Commander, so they're all banned. Hires a professional magician to just drop the star. Yeah, it just appears on the permanents that they want it to. The spin they put in the throw and everything. What if you get the best card thrower as an assistant? That's you know, hey, oh, you're saying some assistants could be like more skilled at dropping the card than other assistants? It's part of the skill of the game. I can, you know what? That's interesting. That's an interesting point. One person might be better with the Chaos Orb than another assistant. One assistant could be more skilled with a Falling Star than another assistant. It's the game, but you know what? It's like, you know, you pay to win. You might pay to win to have a better assistant over somebody else's assistant. In response to you playing this, I stack all of my permanents to one literal pile. What? So that they can deal 3 damage to everything? Gilm says, also, you'd need to add way more rules about board layouts. Can you put 99 dice on a token? Can you interlace creatures and non-creatures? Can you leave huge gaps between creatures? I imagine you can do any and all of this. Anything that can proxy one of your permanents. So yes, you could have all your tokens. You could have a pile of tokens tapped and a pile of tokens untapped, and whether you want them to overlap with each other is all on you. Oh, we also went over this last time with the Chaos Orb. What if it's in a sleeve, and some sleeves are bigger, and like, you know, the sleeve is obviously a little bit bigger than the card, and then like the tip of the sleeve touches another tip of another sleeve. Okay, I think since we talked about that before, and I sort of agree with that, it's a bit weird. You could end up with someone playing with a triple or quadruple sleeve card, making their Falling Star bigger in essence than a regular card. So okay, we'll keep Falling Star banned. It's probably not that broken, but it's a bit too large of a pain in order to get all the rules interactions out of this. Unless you have to completely unsleeve the Falling Star, and it needs to somewhat overlap with the cards that it falls on. What if my tokens are just dice? Yeah, they might errata it that you can't that you need to have a physical card as a dice, but that's a really good point. It would be a rulings nightmare. We'd have to make a whole bunch of rules for no reason, just for Falling Star and Chaos Orb. What if they bring this back though? Use a token of Falling Star has been copied. In a game with 4 players, it's always best to pursue a combo that can instantly win rather than trying to knock off each opponent one by one. I don't know what that's in response to. But that's true. Hot tub stream? No, not anytime soon. Not planned. Okay, Falling Star. Goodbye, Falling Star. I would say you're not powerful, but maybe you're too big of a pain to unban. Next up, Fast Bond. The name's Bond. Fast Bond. This is a green enchantment. You may play any number of lands on each of your turns. Whenever you play a land, if it wasn't the first land you played this turn, Fast Bond deals 1 damage to you. Are there, like, combos with this where you can, like, just draw your entire deck or something? Is Braids still banned? It's not. I believe they unbanned Braids. Braids is free. If you like Braids... Yeah, Braids will not be on the show. One day we should do shows looking back on old shows to see how accurate or smart we were, or stupid. And like definitely, I don't know. If I remember correctly, we probably said Braids was okay here. Fast Bond leads to quite a few first turn kills. Fast Bond helps with landfall. Well, absolutely, well, of course. Does it? Well, yeah, I guess you get a bunch of triggers immediately on 1 turn. Unban it and give it to my landfall deck. There we go, Steve Cooper. How about this? You have Fast Bond, I have Arrayo. It's fair. We have it's a fair deal. Corbinek says, hear me out. Stack all of your permits into 1 pile or all or nothing. Oh, and Will Anderson also says Unborn Fast Bond. Fast Bond has a ton of stupid infinites with Karoo. Oh, with the Karoo lands. Oh, that's a really good point. So like water, what's it called? Simic Growth Chamber. It's the only Karoo land that I know off the top of my head. So Simic Growth Chamber enters the battlefield tapped. When Simic Growth Chamber enters, return a land you control to its owner's hand. So what you can do is you play Simic Growth Chamber, and then you can return it back to hand. And if you can return it back to hand, whenever you play a land, if it wasn't the first land you played this turn, it deals 1 damage to you. So you can continuously play your Simic Growth Chamber, not infinite times, but like up to 39 times. Not necessarily you get any mana out of this. You need like an Amulet of Vigor or something, or a Spelunking for it to come into play untapped. But you do get those landfall triggers. But you still need the landfall enabler. So you need Fast Bond, you need a Simic Growth Chamber, you need the landfall thing that goes on. Like, what's the landfall win condition here? Landfall is for late drawing, but it still works. Honestly, landfall players are already shenaniganing so much at this point. Who cares? Exactly. There we go. Who cares? Can anyone give me like a first turn kill example? So everyone says, well, we're gonna die on turn 1 with Fast Bond. Okay, tell me how it happens. How does it work? No, not anymore. Else can play it, just me. I'm just serious. This is busted. Keep it banned. Here's the thing. Like, let's say you build a deck around Fast Bond. That means you need to have a lot of lands in your deck, right? Or you need to have like every single Karoo land that exists. And you're just hoping to have one of those in your hand. If you're playing this with artifacts, then you're not playing with as many lands. You know what I mean? Like, I can see a world where you play Fast Bond, you have like one other land in your hand, and the rest of it is like artifact ramp. Tadioda have landfall, gain 1 life, and draw a card, by the way. That's fine. That's like, okay, so you're saying Fast Bond goes into Tatiova deck that wins with Simic Growth Chamber. Like, is that a problem? Is that like too easy of a combo to enable? Like, and how many of these Karoo lands can you play in a Tatiova deck? 1. But I don't think there's, or maybe there's mono blue and mono green lands now, right? I don't know. I know there's there's 1 mono white, and then they have a bunch for the enemy colors. But like then you have to draw that one card. It's it's a combo. Have we ever heard of a combo, people? Old Boy says the thing with Fast Bond is that it becomes basically a bunch of extra turns. You just chain cheaper draw spells and get the mana back. I don't know. Has anyone heard of Exploration? What is such a big deal between Fast Bond and Exploration, which effectively also lets you get extra land drops? And this is a very expensive card. Green enchantment. You play an additional land on each of your turns. So this basically says 2 lands a turn. I want to say Fast Bond does something similar, except it is a combo card with the Karoo lands. Will Anderson says a deck built around Fast Bond doesn't have that many lethal options besides Fast Bond combo. That is fair. I think. Well, anyway, that's the way I'm looking at it. Fast Bond, Simic Growth Chamber, Lotus Cobra. You have 39 mana turn 1. Fast Bond, Simic Growth Chamber. So that's a 3-card combo. In fact, you can't even win the game yet. It's a 3-card combo for a lot of mana, not even infinite mana, just a lot of mana, right? Mike says, okay, Grazing, Glade, Heart. Like, my point is, there's a lot of 2-card combos in this game. Are we really crying about a 3-card combo? This is a 3-mana 2/2 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life. So it's still a 3-card combo. You need the Grazing Glade Heart, and you still haven't won the game. You just have infinite life. Big whoop. Big whoopee. Still, I gotta win the game. Try to protect yourself from that commander damage. I actually killed someone with commander damage once. By accident. I didn't even realize I had commander lethal because I don't pay attention to it. Are there that many turn 1? I doubt there's any turn 1s. Like, I mean, if Tatiova needs to be in play, like, no. We got Muhammad. I think it's not about the combo. The card is just too broken. Is it any more broken than Exploration? I want to say Exploration does a very similar thing. Like, yeah, Exploration doesn't go infinite. It's basically Fast Bond, but says no infinites, but strong. And I want to say Fast Bond is going to do a good impersonation of that most of the time. Will Anderson says, honestly, what makes Fastbond so strong is not an infinite combo. It's how fast it can gain you a massive advantage. How big of a difference is it over exploration? Well, that's legal. Benny says, this is my first unbanned vote. Gillum says, Lotus Petal, Lotus Cobra, Fastbond, Simic Growth Chamber, Biorhythm, turn 1 win. Oh my god. If you have that hand, you're cheating. You are cheating. I will not believe that for a second. Such a very specific hand. Did anyone cut his deck? Okay, if they cut the deck, then that's just, I don't know. Then there's probably like a, look for more Lotus Cobras and Fastbonds throughout the entire deck. Okay, Steve Cooper says, you can Crucible Worlds and Zuron Orb with fast mana, for example. This is okay in a world where players don't optimize their decks to be degenerate as possible, but that's not the world we live in. Well, okay, what is the world we live in? What does that look like? Everyone says, well, if you, look, I want to say a lot of cards stay on the ban list because people make the argument, well, it's just broken. They get too big of an advantage. It's too strong. Okay, how? Lay it on me here. How does it happen? And then we unban cards like this. Like, okay, it was a strong... Okay, this one will be strong just because it's just a better exploration. I want to say it's not infinitely better. It'll be a combo card. Like, obviously, it's a combo card. But it's a 3-card combo card, as we have all talked about. Like, there isn't a single 2-card combo with Fastbond. Fastbond is all 3-card combos. Unban Fastbond means also unban Channel. No, Channel's basically a 1-card, like 39 mana card. Fastbond is a 2-card in 39 mana card. Wait, are we against 2-card combos now? Like, we can't have 2-card combos in this game? There's like a million 2-card. There are literally 2-card infinite combos. They exist. Not to mention, you can interact with this one because with Fastbond in the Simic Growth Chamber, when someone plays Simic Growth Chamber, you can Wasteland it, you can Strip Mine it. There's actually ways of interacting. There's more than one way to interact with this thing. Fastbond is too OP for how fast it gives land decks an edge over everything else. Fastbond is that you may eat garbage for free meme. It's way too easy to break. Channel is way worse than Fastbond. Yeah, I can't believe that escalated quickly. I vote Fastbond stays banned, but can be reprinted at 5 mana. Bell is like hell. Okay, Corbinek, Lands in Legacy would have a heyday if you unbanned Fastbond. Well, that's different. I mean, in Legacy, you have access to 4 of each card. It's way easier to break Fastbond in that format. Old Boy says, decks built around Fastbond usually have a bunch of combos. Well, that's the world we live in. If there are dozens of different first hands that win you the game, that's a lot more likely to hit one. Okay, that's an interesting point. So, but here's another thing. Okay, actually, I have a counterpoint to that. If you build an entire deck around Fastbond, an entire deck, you have millions of Fastbond combos. Let's say you have 10 or 20 of them. So you maximize the chances of comboing with Fastbond. Then now the deck completely depends on Fastbond. If you do not get Fastbond, then the whole deck is trash. Agree? I think that's what happens when you completely bend your entire deck around a one particular card, like Fastbond. Like, you'd have just a bunch of random junk. You'd have that 3 mana 2/2 that gains life whenever you play a land. What's that going to do if you don't actually have Fastbond in your hand? It's just going to be a pile of junk. You know what I mean? If you have 100 potential 3-card combos with Fastbond in your deck, it's likely you hit one sooner or later. No, it's very likely that you'll hit all those cards, but you won't actually hit Fastbond itself. People used it's just mana as the argument. Fastbond is too broken for Legacy, but decent for EDH. There's a lot of, I mean, look, Sol Ring is banned in Legacy. Okay, we'll get back to Fastbond, because I gotta talk about our Lord and Savior. Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards for the digital client on Magic Online. You don't have to worry about cards getting banned or unbanned in Magic, because when you're renting cards with Mana Traders, you don't care. If a card gets banned, you just ship those cards back and you could get new cards. You could get a whole new deck. I highly recommend it. I also highly recommend you use coupon code Nikachu_AHL for 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. Okay, back to Fastbond. I think we're having a good discussion here. It's like there's a lot of combos. All right, if you make your entire deck based around comboing with Fast Bond, and you don't have it in your opening hand, your deck is just going to be like a bunch of loose, worthless nonsense. Yeah, Legacy people are insane. I refuse to believe that zero turn combos are fun. Well, I mean, in Legacy they could break this. I think they could like in Legacy you could play with all the Karoo lands. You can play with 4 Fast Bond. You could play with like was it Worldly Tutor? Is it Worldly Tutor? Actually, I don't even know if Worldly Tutor is legal. It's not popular. Or World Tutor? What is the green tutor? I thought I looked up Worldly Tutor. Search your library for a creature. Oh no, this is a creature card. What looks up enchantments? Oh, the white one. I don't remember what the white one was. Is it the world one? Enlightened Tutor. Yeah, Enlightened Tutor. I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there was Enlightened Tutor there. I just looked up Tutor. Yeah, Enlightened Tutor is it. Search your library for an artifact or enchantment card. Reveal it, shuffle, and put it on top. It's legal it's completely legal in Legacy. So it's legal in Legacy. You could have 4 copies of this. So I mean, it's way easier to build a turn 2 deck off of Fast Bond in Legacy than it would be to build a deck in Commander. Pyre says, let's look at a very realistic situation. Blue-green landfall gets this turn 1. How likely is it anyone to be able to keep up with it? They play it 2 lands, hold up a counter. Now, what can anyone do about it? Well, they're going to do the same things they do with like, what was that hand anyway? Turn 1, they played Forest. Ooh, they played like Forest, Fast Bond. Then they played, 2 islands from their hand, and they're holding up Counterspell. It's like, how many cards are left in their hand? Like 3 cards? Because they already they have 2 other random cards in their hand. I don't think they're actually playing from a board of strength, in my opinion. That's why you mulligan until you hit Fast Bond or a Tutor. What? Are there enough cards? You can't play Enlightened Tutor in your, what's it called? In your, oh, you didn't mention that. Was it, not Tameo. Tatiova. Z-Man Vader says, the potential of this card is crazy for 1 mana. I can see it unbanned, but definitely made a game changer. Well, then that would mean it is not strong enough for 2026 if we can unban it. In blue-green, you can only gift / intuition for it, though. Yes. That's probably, I guess, the only way. Okay, pretty much anything that'd be broken with Fast Bond is already good or great in decks that would want Fast Bond. So, okay, they get marginally stronger. Worldly Tutor is very fair. It is very fair. Worldly Tutor and also Enlightened Tutor. A deck with Fast Bond is also a cantrip heavy. Mana Flush. Mess with that. Has no trouble doing whatever it wants. They're a blue-green deck. Do you think they can't draw? They can't draw is back, never cycle. What? Mana turn 1 isn't actually good in CDH. Yeah. Okay, Gillum says, sure, you can play Enlightened Tutor if you play white. Micum says, is good, but not unexpected. Gillum also says, who says you have to play blue-green? Well, that's just one combination. Of course, you could be a 4-color deck. You could play Wooburg with Fast Bond. Okay, sounds like you guys don't like it, but I think it's doable for 2026. I think it's doable. I don't think like it will. There's so much broken stuff already in CEDH. I don't think this would be outside the power level of that format. I don't know if it'll make the format better, but I don't think it's worse. Okay, we looked at Flash last video, so we're not going to look at that one. We're going to go to Golos. Golos, you got banned for being too generic, to be honest. 5 mana, 3/5 scout. When Golos enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a land card, put onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. It probably got banned for that ability, because as you keep killing Golos, like the commander tax just didn't matter, because you keep putting more lands on the battlefield. And then for Wooburg, 2 generic, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn without paying their mana cost. Good God! This was just like a generically good commander. Yeah, this is all it is. It could have been Golos, generically good commander. You get to play all 5 colors. You have this massive card advantage ability. It ramps you, so like the commander, the very thing that's supposed to punish you in commander doesn't punish you anymore. My Dark Depths tutor of choice. I've heard that it hurts commander's versatility since it's so generic. Yeah, so they've actually done that in regular Magic the Gathering. It's like in one-on-one Magic the Gathering as well, where there was a card that was just too generically good, so they banned it to increase diversity in the format. Yeah, good old fire. I don't even know if this qualifies as fire design. Golos was banned for being boring, not for being too good. You're boring, Golos. CGB made a mono red commander deck with because of Golos ramp, just with Golos. So it was a mono red deck, but it was technically Wooburg. Oh, I guess you didn't even have to use the ability. You could just put this in a mono red deck, right? Yeah, you could actually put this in anything. It's just a 5-mana 3/5 that ramps you. They banned it to diversify the format. It was during the fire design era. Yeah, it is. I understand. I look at fire design as like, well, you could say like generically good cards, like no down, like it's all upside, no downside. The another problem with Golos, well, no, not a problem, but it made zero reason to play any other Wooburg card. Like why would you play any other Wooburg commander when you can play Golos? And that's it. And then everyone, like, oh, you got a 5-color deck? I got a 5-color deck too. You're playing Golos? I'm playing Golos too. Just as my favorite thing is Nikachu reading bad grammar and trying make sense to of it good lots. That's right. I do have a decently good job in my opinion. Golos is the missionary of Wooburg. Yes. Golos, Korbanek says, Golos is the salt in the seasoning section at the supermarket. Everything else has more flavor and is more interesting, but everyone uses this because it goes well with all the strategies. Too OP. Is it really OP? You know, the only thing I see is OP about Golos is it just ignores commander attack, so you kill this thing, and like it doesn't cost that much more to get it back into play, because the whole point of this card when it enters the battlefield is you get like an extra land. So every single time you have to recast Golos, it's not as punishing as all the other commanders that have to hit the battlefield. Like, what if I would bet if it didn't have this ETB search for it's not even like you may search your library for a land card. A land card! It's not even a basic land. So yeah, you know what? I didn't think about that, but this could actually tutor up the Dark Depths combo. So you like, play Golos, go get Dark Depths. You want to kill, anyone want to kill my Golos? Huh? Help me get Thespian stage? Huh? So yeah, there's actually an incentive not to kill this damn thing. Or someone gets Thespian stage first, I guess. Old boy's like the catch-22. If they unban him, people will flock to playing him because of the unban, making him homogenize the format again. You know what we have to do? We need a better Wooburg card than Golos. That's how we're supposed to do it. If we get a better Wooburg card, it will make Golos look not nearly as good. Benny says Golos looks like an excellent affinity staple. Search for Inkmoth Nexus and combo for the win. You can do that without affinity though. You can put Inkmoth Nexus in any deck. It's not like Inkmoth Nexus has the, I don't know, artifact identity. Balanced everywhere but EDH, says Mercenary. We got Churus. All the 5-color good stuffs are either more powerful or faster, so I don't see the difference. So, I mean, you know what? I think we're all on the same line that this card wasn't actually that strong. Like, it was good, but it wasn't above and beyond the power level of the format. It was just so homogenizing. Like, if you wanted to play Wooburg, you went to Golos. Michael says, I wasn't around MTG when this was printed, but it looked fine to me in B4 or 5. What is that? Oh, best 4 out of 5? So you're a new player, actually, Micah. Welcome to Magic the Gathering. It can also get your game changer lands. Unban make game changer. Does that change anything if you make it a game changer? Like, here's the... I don't understand. Like, can you make commanders a game changer? That sounds so rude. It's like, oh no, we're playing this power level. You have to be within this bracket. And then that basically just rips apart somebody's commander. I mean, I guess they could play another commander that's five colors. Z-Man Vader says the effect is already done with Amazing Spider-Man and does this in 3 colors. This could be unbanned, I believe. Oh, I think it's clear that this can be unbanned. It is. The show is about how powerful are banned commander cards, and this card is not powerful. Manny Matson, seeing that Lutri unbanned, they should really bring back banned as commander. That is the right thing to do. We need to bring back banned as commander. It's very funny that they got rid of it. I don't think it was that complicated. As messy and as complicated Commander is, I think the rules to Magic the Gathering are more complicated than just understanding what's banned and not banned. The banned as Commander thing is a pretty easy thing to keep track of. Steve Cooper says, that's like saying Nadu is so good, we need to make a better Nadu. That's fine. Yuriko is a game changer as far as I know. Oh, is it? Okay. Does it change anything? Yeah, it changes the name. We don't talk about Spider-Man. Okay, Braids is... Oh, really? Okay. Okay, so they brought Braids back, but they made it a game changer. Yeah, it's not banned because it's powerful. It's banned because it's unfun. Old Boy says they can and do game change commanders, but the new philosophy seems to be trying to avoid that. I imagine it's a real feel bad. You bring your one commander deck to a store, and they're like, no, we're not playing with those game changers. Sorry, that's a game changer. We're like a no game changer group. Get your commander out of here. I mean, you could, in theory, have, especially when it comes to Golos, you can have like a split-second swap with another Wooburg card, like put Sliver Queen or something. Just cuz. Sliver Queen makes tokens, you know? Mercenary says they got rid of it for being too confusing. They brought it back, didn't they? Lutri is back. Imagine if Yuriko is banned as commander. Would that be fine? Benny says, I was introduced to MTG just before Return to Ravnica release. I am officially a Pioneer player. Yeah, you're born in the Pioneer age. The new philosophy is to make money from casual players. That is the philosophy. All right, Golos. You are not too powerful for 2026. You are not too powerful at all. In fact, you were quite within the power level, I would say. You're probably within the power level back then as well. Oh, baby. Grizzlebrand. This is a it's a quadruple black 4 generic. For a 7/7 demon, flying, lifelink, pay 7 life, draw 7 cards. How do we feel about this card today? So if I understand correctly, this is the opposite. Like, we've talked about Grizzlebrand many times in the past. This is the opposite of banned as commander. It should be banned in the 99. Now that would make things confusing. Okay, so some people... Okay, so Will Anderson just comes right out, says Grizzlebrand should be unbanned. Bring back banned in the 99? What do you mean bring back? Did it even exist? So Benny says this is Grizzleband. Okay, Chris wants Grizzlebrand. So how different is winning with Grizzlebrand over winning with other reanimated cards? Like, okay, this is obviously a lot better than, say, Atraxa. I don't even know what the deck would look like. I don't even know what a reanimator deck would look like these days. Mercenary says, Grizzlebrand is not OP in EDH. Why doesn't this cost 7? I bet they did some playtesting and realized 7 was actually probably maybe a smidge too easy to get to. It's like 3... No, but 3 dark... Is it 3 dark rituals away? It is 3 dark rituals away. Although I don't know how often you're going to have a hand like that. Combos with Pizza Box and still went infinite. Bell says, unbanned so I can sell my remaining Grizzlebrand at a higher price. Did you have a bunch of them? I had a bunch. I used to have a bunch of Grand Prix promos back when I grinded the Grand Prix back in the day. Grand Prix are so old, I don't even know if a lot of modern players even know what a Grand Prix is. We need to bring back Grand Prix. Bring back Grizzlebrand, but make it a game changer. Oh, so a lot of people are pretty optimistic about bringing back Grizzlebrand. Either they are biased and they want to see Grizzlebrand, or they don't think it's actually as broken. Now, to be frankly honest, in 60 card formats, when someone gets Grizzlebrand in play, they have like a 95% chance of winning on the spot. I would estimate about 95, maybe 90%. That probably goes up in Commander to like 99%. But basically, if you can reanimate Grizzlebrand on the battlefield, you win the game. So it's like a 2-card combo, but not 100% guaranteed, because there is some room to brick. And I mean, maybe there's even more room to brick in Commander, because you have so many. You only have one-ofs in your deck that you could dig. How deep we can go? Let's say we have an untouched 20 life. Let's say we have an untouched 40 life divided by 7. We can get a good 5. So we get 5. We get 5 activations. 5 times 7, 35. We have 35. We get 35 cards off of our Grizzlebrand. We get 1/3 into our deck, which is about the same in a 60 card format, because you can draw. Oh, you only draw 14 cards. Actually, that's actually a lot less. There's so many ways an opponent can deal with it. Are there? I mean, there's a lot of there is graveyard hate. I personally main deck Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, Z-Man is voting for it to stay banned. J-Grod's like, free my boy Grizzlebrand, you did nothing wrong. Did they ban Grizzlebrand somewhat in the modern day? For as long as I've known Commander, I knew this card was banned. If you have 3 Dark Rituals in your opening hand, I'm calling a judge. Hey, it happens. I know Grand Prix from Mario Kart, not the same Grand Prix. Mercenary says, I recall Grand Prix. I was one of the first people to record a finals on video and upload it to the net. Oh, wow. Is it still there? Kano ban in unfair decks. This, Steve Cooper says, this is the same deal as Emrakul, the Ion's Torn. It gets cheated out and then draws your library. Benny says, life-linking mill decks won pretty darn quick. I believe that is why it's dead. Life-linking mill decks? You mean self-mill? Or they're going to mill you out somehow? Will Anderson, if you can hate the graveyard, you can force them to hardcast it, which can also be responded to. Or if they hardcast it, if they hardcast this thing, they deserve to win if they can win from there. Not to mention, I would say if they're in hardcast territory, the game might have actually played out quite a bit where they get attacked a good chunk and their life total actually is low enough. Like if someone knows that you're playing Grizzlebrand in your deck, they might end up being the target, and so they'll wail on their life total to a point where, like, if you can get them down to 20, then a Grizzlebrand isn't lights out if they play it and draw a billion cards. I guess the big threat is Grizzlebrand and Reliquary Tower. That would be pretty strong. Cracker Grid is like, free my girl Iona, make it a game changer. You know what? Because of that, we'll skip to Iona. We'll talk Iona after Grizzlebrand. Grand Prix, what's next? Star City Games doing competitive events? Well, that's great. Believe it or not, Star City Games did do a few Grand Prix. Kano says Grizzlebrand is met when played fairly, but we do have to assume Grizzlebrand will be played unfairly. Milling decks targeting themselves while using Laboratory Maniac. Okay, that's fine. It is the way OG YouTube had me upload it to the net all the time in pieces, but I re-uploaded the way I wanted to present it. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, back then, I think back then YouTube only let you, like, what was it, 2 minutes or something, 3 minutes? There was a hard cap how big the files could be. Now there's no cap. You can put a 10-hour video of Star Trek's background noise. The sound of the hull. Corbinick says, just mind slave the Grizzlebrand player. Well, easier said than done. Gillum says, the problem is that no one ever in the history of forever played him fairly. No one's gonna, okay, so we're not saying that it's gonna be played fairly. We're gonna assume it's gonna be played as unfairly as possible. Is it too strong for 2026? I'm hearing a lot of people, they want it unbanned, but we might have a very biased group. Some people are against it, some people are for it. I want my opponents to fear me. Grizzlebrand does that. Will Anderson, if you can hate the graveyard, you can force them to... Yeah, okay, we got that one. I've seen someone Mindsliver a player draw Zombify and win versus Grizzlebrand. That's just weird. No unban. Manny Matson says, what even is playing fair? People complain just because I have 2 untapped islands. That's right. Or Dranith Magistrate. Apparently Dranith Magistrate isn't fair. Too many people are too many people feel like their entire deck is their commander. I mean, I guess that's why it's but then they would say, well, that's the name of the game. It's called Commander. Kano says all the unbanned creature cards in the show will be auto-include in cheat decks. They are. I feel the unbanned players aren't judging power, just nostalgia. This well, it's okay. I'm a little torn. On first, a Grizzlebrand is a very, very, very strong card in like competitive Magic, but it's legal in all the formats. You can have as many Grizzlebrands as you want, and you are free to cheat this card out as much as you want. In fact, Grizzlebrand has actually gotten so much worse because these days, like for example, you can just Pithing Needle Grizzlebrand in advance if you really need to. We have other cards, other interaction. So you go So if someone tries to reanimate Grizzlebrand, you can exile the graveyard. You could also play something called what's that? There's a new flash speed Pithing Needle. What is the flash speed Pithing Needle? Disruptor Flute. That's right. That's what this Disruptor Flute. So in response, Disruptor Flute named Grizzlebrand because it's an activated ability. It's not a triggered ability. Now these days, competitive decks don't even want to play Grizzlebrand as much as they used to. They like to playing Atraxa because Atraxa enters the battlefield and does not care about your life total. And I believe she has lifelink. Well, I guess Grizzlebrand also has lifelink. But Atraxa is like one of the more preferred card advantage engines. I don't even know why. I guess because you get value off of her no matter what your life total is. Corbinick says, firstly, I play mostly mill. Grizzlebrand doesn't bother me very much. Ah, so you're like, yes, by all means. Have as many cards as you want. You're helping me out here. Grizzlebrand showed me that one with nothing is excellent for Graveborn decks. Okay, sounds like people still want Grizzlebrand banned. I would argue it is not too strong for 2026. I would say it is of the power level of all the other wild nonsense that is going on in Magic the Gathering these days, but you guys don't seem to agree. Okay, next. We wanted Cracker Grit. Wanted to talk about Iona. This was a super chat, so we'll skip to Iona. Oops, Iona, Shield of Emeria. Now, like I said earlier, this was banned to help the monocolor players. I'm a monocolor player, and I don't care about this card. It's a 9 mana 7/7 angel, flying. When it enters the battlefield, choose a color. Your opponents can't cast cards of the chosen color. So first off, I don't even think this is very not strong. This is not strong at all versus decks that are playing multiple colors because they have other colors to play at the same time. You can still kill Iona, just interact with this thing with some other colors. I mean, you're only screwed if you're monocolor. So it just hard shuts you down if you're monocolor. The weird catch, though, is in theory, there should be some advantages to being monocolor. That's not true at all. It's just not. The advantage you get from splashing colors is just so massive in Magic the Gathering. It's just so big that Iona actually beats down basically decks that are disadvantaged in 2020 and 2026. Iona is an easy unban in my opinion. Kano says, would you care about it if you're non-blue monocolor? Look, if I'm monocolor, I know what I'm getting into. Like, I like my smooth mana, but you know what? I have to understand, Iona Shield of Emeria, it's out there. I could add more artifacts to my deck. You know, I could play with Navinral's Disc, for example, to destroy Iona. All right, you said blue or red, green, black, or whatever. Deal with this. And you know what? Also, as a blue player, I have access to Otawara. If I'm not in blue, what would I have access to? I could have access to, what is the black? I can't remember what the black channel land is. I want to say it like, oh no, maybe it just puts a creature back into your hand, not back from the graveyard. Mudasir says, stay banned. Commander is supposed to be fun. People just seem to hate taxing cards. I own a shield from unbanning. Would this count as a 1-card combo? Not. I mean, if it was a 1-on-1, yes. Takanuma. Oh yeah. Okay. What does Takanuma do? Just don't remember. Mill 3 cards. Return a creature or planeswalker card. Yeah. Okay. Back to your hand. So this card doesn't do anything. I was like, doesn't it put it onto the battlefield? But then that would be too broken. That would be way too broken. Even mono, yeah, mono blue can Otawara the damn thing. But we gotta look at the other colors. What other chances do the other colors have? But there is artifact destruction out there. You know, maybe you can't go out into a commander pod without at least one Nevinral's disc in your deck to be able to destroy anything and everything. Just have some form of interaction. Yeah, it's one of those things that feel worse than it is. Mono red goblin deck would be shut down completely. Well, unless they got their goblins out already. How does Iona work with split color cards? Ooh, that's a good question. I actually don't know. Micum says, advantage of monocolor, path to exile is less punishing. That's right. Have fun, Micum. See you next time. As at Hoth says, taxing cards are fine, but this one is especially lopsided in terms of balance. I agree. Iona is too OP in EDH against the monocolor decks. Who's playing monocolor these days in 2026? What idiot out there is doing that? I think of all the Commander games I've ever played, like in public, I only faced one monocolor deck. I think it was a mono green. What's it called? The mono green Wandering Bard? Is that what it was? It was like I want to say it was a legendary creature that acted like a birthing pod. That was the only thing I could think of. Who the hell plays a zombie in 2026? Pyre with Krenko. Tifa's monocolor. Steve Cooper says, I play at least 3 monocolor decks. Keep this banned. I'll tell you what you do, Steve Cooper. You slowly bring out your commander decks, and if someone shows you Iona Shield of Emeria, like, okay, put this one back down, bring out a 3-color deck. Matty Matson says, the unfun part is that only one player might be affected. If I take fun away, I want the entire table to suffer. You know what? I have noticed in Commander, the player that is completely shut down is the player that actually has pretty good chances of winning. At least like in a non-combo centric sense. This is obviously only going to be played in like Battle Cruiser Commander, right? So what ends up happening is one player being shut down, no one's going to attack them. Like no one's going to do anything because they're not the threat anymore. The only people who could win are the people who are playing their spells. So they're going to duke it out versus each other. Eventually, Iona is off the battlefield. Either the Iona player is going to win, or the Iona player is going to be dealt with. And then they free you up, and you have a fresh life total. Then you can start playing your spells, and you actually can pick up the pieces from there. The Wanderer Bard. That's right. That was the only time that I played against another monocolor deck in the wild. And it was so frustrating. So I had a lot of interaction, but this person had like every single hexproof card possible. Well, maybe not every single one. And they didn't cheat or anything. I literally cut their deck. I literally cut their deck to like a god hand, and they won on turn 3. They had like Veil of Summer, the other summer card. It was very frustrating. It's like, what the hell? I had all this interaction for this deck, and they had all the counters to my counters. But maybe there's like more counters than I know. Surely there are other monocolor hate cards too. What monocolor hate card can you do to Iona after it's on the battlefield? They get ignored because they aren't a threat anymore. Yeah, exactly. Old Boy says, I play a bunch of monocolor decks, but mostly because it cuts the number of cards I have to sift through while deck building. Screw this deck. I don't want to play 2 colors, just going to play mono one. Yeah, there are a couple mono green commander decks, elf shenanigans. Marty Rule says, unban it, y'all better politic or something. Manny Matson says, oh, I have a very different experience. As soon as I show weakness, I get ganged up. What? Who the hell does that? It's like, okay, they're weak. Let's just get them out of the misery. Put them out of their misery. I've never experienced that. I find the person who is the weakest, that nobody touches them, and they just duke it out versus the other strong players every single time. That is an interesting psychology, though. It's like, okay, this person's the weakest. Let's all agree not to attack each other, not to expend our resources, and just blow this person out of the water. I never heard of that. Pyre says, the Iona victim is the target for anyone who wants damage triggers. Okay, that's true. They'll probably have to let through everything. That is, if you still have a hand to play after being shut down by Iona. Kano, playing this as a commander turns the format into arch enemy. This is 9 mana. Like, have we talked about that aspect of this? This thing is outrageously expensive. It's super expensive. It's even an ETB trigger. Oh, sorry, no, it's not as Iona enters the battlefield. Anyway, I think this is a stupidly expensive card. Really hard to get into play. I mean, they might build their whole deck around it, but like then they're so vulnerable. If they build their whole deck around ramping Iona on turn 1, like it's not like it does anything versus the other colors. You know better than anyone, no one is paying 9 mana for this. Well, then how do you get into play? Or are we saying this is not a commander? This is in like the 99? Instead of winning the game for 9 mana, let me take out one person for a few turns. Exactly. It's 9 mana and mono white. White's very well known for its ramp. Is it? What, like land tax? This costs 4 at most to zombify. Cracker Grit, as a Kalia player, I've never cast her once. There we go! Use Elvish Piper and her Quicksilver Amulet. Oh my god. That's all jank, though. Those are jank cards. Just copy their Iona while naming whites. That sounds hilarious. Yeah, so let's say they go Iona name red, and then you go like Phyrexian Metamorph, copy your Iona name white, and then they're screwed. Live by the sword, die by the sword. The color with Smothering Tithe can cast as easily. Smothering Tithe looks like a pretty stupid card to print. I don't know what they were thinking about that. Like, it's 2 mana. Like, who the hell wants to pay 2 mana? You're forced with that tax like every damn turn. If she is not the commander, well, if she's not the commander, what's the point? Path to Exile is rampant white. Well, that's Path to Exile, my own token. Corbenek says, step 1, play in mono white pod. The ghost of the Thomas Jenkins. If you can't deal with Iona, you need removal in your deck. No, but if you're in a monocolor deck, all your removal is basically of that color, right? So it's pointless. Black can have a million pieces of removal. They're all worthless. Z-Man Vader, this card is just unfun for a not insignificant amount of players. Keep banned. You can still reanimate it in general. What are you playing in a Orzhov deck? Marcio says, 9 mana, you might as well be dead once you cast it. 9 mana commander, that's nothing. Chris says, Iona can't stop Platinum Angel. There you go. You could just balance your deck out by having more artifacts in it. Steve Cooper says, you can cheat her out with stuff like Geode Golem. Gillum says, what if your removal, is the name color, exactly. Oh boy, there is still colorless removal if you're that afraid of Iona. That's right, we could all is dust. Got to play around Iona. I mean, this is maybe what would happen. If there was an Iona metagame, people in monocolor would just play more like colorless removal. Give themselves an out. Although I don't know how long Iona's going to stay off the battlefield if they could cast it the first time. Anyway, I think Iona is... I think it's weak, to be honest. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but everyone seems to think it's a big deal. So I guess it stays banned. I would disagree. But you know what? This is like a democracy. You all rule here. It's the name of the game. And I was whatever. If you could super chat enough to Wizards of the Coast, maybe they'll unban. If you super chat enough to the right people at Wizards of the Coast, maybe they can unban Iona. In fact, you even know who those people are because there is a Commander Rules Committee. We do these shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, everyone, for your wonderful support. If you're a member on YouTube, a patron on Patreon, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I really love the discussion. Discussion from Old Boy, Pyre, Mercenary, Gillum, Little Dead Fly, Corbin Econo, Benny. We got, Vorniferous. Bro, Iona is so toxic. And that's why it's staying banned, apparently. Steve Cooper, Z-Man Vader, Gillum, Matty Matson, and Adaptus was here too, and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees. I still got a little coffee left in me, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.